How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Z-Man Show. We're getting ready to tackle The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Episode 5 out of this small little 6-episode Season 1 here. If we even get another season for that matter, which we'll have to see what happens. So, I just want to mention for a second, although I try to usually maintain my composure, usually doing these videos and whatnot, and if you want to skip this part, maybe skip in maybe just a minute, but I just, for some of you who've watched my channel for a long time, and I've gotten to know some of you and talk to you about just Walking Dead stuff, but I lost my mom last Wednesday to stage 3 lung cancer. And anyways, the family's staying strong and whatnot. I just want to say, in case you're wondering, if Mike seems off or, I don't know, just doesn't seem quite like himself, I needed this just to kind of get away as a distraction myself, just to kind of, keep my mind in another place. But just know the family's trying to stay strong. But any of you that are dealing with anybody in your family or close friends who have cancer and things like that, I understand, and I know it's a very tough time. So just know that my thoughts are with you all as well, and I hope they try to get through it in the most peaceful and best way that they can, because I know it's a tough journey for everyone included. So, but we're here to talk Walking Dead, so let's get to it. What an interesting episode for tonight. I never really thought that we would see, because, Walking Dead tends to hold on to certain characters, but let's just face it, did we really expect Jadis to get it so soon? I mean, I figured like they may try to string this whole The Ones Who Live on maybe for another season, and maybe play Jadis in, but she played her hand and her cards, and it didn't end out well for her. The fact that Jadis thought that she could take out Rick and Michonne, although she had, I guess, ways to follow them, because I guess they found that truck full of ramen, along the way, which I have to admit, for a second there, when I saw them open that up, I was like, Steph, I mean, what are the chances just that, that truck just sitting there all dilapidated with all those, sets of noodles in there? I mean, things get picked over like crazy, but then again, who knows? Maybe the area was evacuated quickly, or maybe somebody found it and had to abandon it, who knows? But I just thought, man, that was awfully convenient. But anyways, they had a chance to spend some more time together. Again, we know that this whole series is kind of like a love story, more or less. But let's face it, my argument in the last episode, because I know a gentleman was talking about how it's a love story. I mean, we should be expecting these types of dialogue and this and like, yes, but we still got to move the show along in a progressive way where we feel like we're getting some good things out of it. And no doubt it's been a very interesting season. I've liked it up to this, and I don't want to denies writing for episode 4. I mean, it was very decent, but was it astonishing and amazing? No. I mean, you really need to sit back. I mean, if you haven't, go watch some other movies and series and stuff. I mean, it's hard to write. I've tried to write for my series, and it's a gift. It just doesn't just happen, And I'm sure she's been practicing for a long time. And like I said, this episode 4 had its moments, but I just felt like the arguments just became stale. It was just kind of like Michonne's perspective just kept repeating itself over and over. Like, it's like she wasn't really listening to Rick, and I guess maybe that's what annoyed me the most. And by the way, if that's what she was trying to convey, well then congratulations, you worked it out. But I felt like it was a very one-sided argument, and Rick had a very good point, and I guess maybe I was annoyed more that she just wasn't listening, but in another way too, we needed to snap Rick back in, right? I mean, he was in that defeatist attitude, so maybe the episode did fully achieve what it was meant to do. But again, I like it when the people in the conversation or the arguments are truly listening to one another to get there. And I feel in episode 5, we got a piece of that also in the beginning, because he stops her for a moment too. And I know I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit. Again, Mike not in his right mind. But remember, he stops her and he goes, Michonne, I want to let you know that I never gave up on us. Like there was moments, and yeah, I tried to put it aside or this or that, but I never let go, and I think that was really great for Rick to say that. And I think Michonne, she, for that moment, finally started to accept Rick for his point of view too. Like, she didn't know, I guess, everything that he went through. And so I think that was good. That was a good follow-up to everything that happened, I think, in episode 4. But anyways, it was kind of neat kind of seeing them doing their thing on the road, surviving. They go to help those people, because again, that's what Rick and Michonne would do in most situations, even though everything they've learned. But they shouldn't get too careless, but they did run over there to those people to try and save them. They do, and then of course you only have that guy draw the weapon on them. Anyways, I thought it was an interesting little encounter, but that's what you would expect out of a lot of people at that point in the apocalypse. I mean, it's that guy had a point, although I don't agree with it. I still stick to Rick's style and whatever. And Michonne choosing to take the noodles away, I mean, I don't disagree with her necessarily either because, I mean, they did draw weapons on them. I mean, was he really going to be willing to fire on them? I don't know, but, thank goodness Rick and Michonne are formidable. But, that's the damnedest thing because they let them go to possibly do that to somebody else. I know they were saying, like, just say that you promise you'll do it and we'll let you go. That's a rough one. I'm not sure exactly how I felt about that. I mean, no. Did I expect Rick and Michonne to kill them? Absolutely not. I don't know. It just was the punishment enough? Maybe it was. They don't get their food. It's maybe a life lesson learned, which that comes into play a little bit later when they meet Jadis. But anyways, Rick and Michonne, they get to their little cabin hut, so things are going good. And Rick says the luck's continuing, and I couldn't help but say out loud right then and there, yeah, and luck runs out. And for them it did for a period. And Jadis caught up with their asses, and we had seen this mysterious figure walking in the woods and some interesting flashbacks of Father Gabriel, right? I was just like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And the whole point with that was Gabriel was meeting secretly with Jadis like once a year for a period of, it looks like it started 3 years ago, then 2 years ago. Then so is that 4 years? I'm hoping I'm doing my math right here. But anyways, they kept meeting. But you could see, at first, I guess that's around the time that she had been saved. Of course, she knew what happened to Rick, but she didn't share that with Gabriel. And then over time, she could see she keeps changing, right? Because she keeps feeding in more and more to the CRM's bullshit and the Army's plot to do whatever and this and that, and she keeps progressing. So we'll get back to that in a minute. But they're kind of playing off of that back and forth, along with her running down, basically, Rick and Michonne. So, she tries to kill them, tries to shoot them both, kill them right then and there, trying to cover up the mess that really she made. Now, I'm trying to think back on this, too, because technically without her, I mean, Rick probably would have died on that riverbank, more than likely. So, do we blame her? It's so hard. It's like, they were messing around with her character a bit tonight. It's like, she's evil, but yet then they were trying to sympathize and see her point of view then towards the end and show that she was still a person and she was still in there. I can't say I felt completely sorry for her. I mean, you chose your camp and you chose poorly, as Indiana Jones and the Crusader would say. You chose poorly. These are bad people, and Michonne, she laid that out there too. Anyways, we had a nice car chase. That was fun. A little involved there and whatnot. And but man, when Jadis, but right before that car chase, she gets that axe. I think that was from Michonne, if I'm not mistaken. I guess the footage will show. She gets that axe to the stomach, or maybe the right side of her, I don't know, abdomen or something like that. She's messed up solid, right? So she manages to make it, and she meets up with those three people that Rick and Michonne had ran into with the ramen noodles and stuff. And she actually talks them into taking out Rick and Michonne. If they do, then she'll give them a place at the CRM, which that was probably BS, right? I mean, she was being pretty shady, in everything that she was doing. And so, again, I'm not so sure I really felt sorry for Jadis at the end. I mean, a little bit, because she did have an interesting character arc, right? I mean, we've seen her go through a lot of things. She was a complicated character, complicated person, and had a lot of death on her hands and just things. So, I mean, and then she was probably reflecting on all that, and especially with her meetings with Gabriel, and even there was that moment where they kissed on one of their meetings and stuff. And then, guys, for a moment there, I thought she killed Gabriel, because we don't know really what happened to some of our other crew. I mean, maybe they'll get into that in future shows, or probably popping in and here with some other flashbacks. But for a second there, I thought she killed him, but thank goodness she did not. And Gabriel was right. See, he had faith in her. He had faith in Anne. Forget this Jadis crap. I mean, remember who you are. But see, I guess in the apocalypse, and maybe you could say that she was weak, because she conformed to whatever was necessary at that time. But a true strong person like Rick, I'd say Michonne, although she was lost for a bit, well, and Rick was lost for a bit too, but they found themselves, and then they stayed true to who they were. I know it's kind of deep, but let's face it. I mean, if you are a strong person, you're going to try to keep to that. And we would all do crazy things in the apocalypse, Lord knows. But anyways, she does meet her final end, and those three jerks, were, I guess it was more the guys that were the jerks, but either way, they get eaten by the zombies, and then Jadis gets the bite right to the neck. I mean, forget the arms or anything else. I mean, it was the killer blow. And then we get to see her talking about, and that was interesting too, just leading right up to that, how Rick and Michonne were making the deal with her, and Michonne kind of gives them that look, kind of like, work with me on this, you know. And me and Steph were kind of joking about that. And then, you know, obviously Jadis didn't fully trust them, but she drew their weapon, and she drew another weapon on Rick. She's like, I don't trust you, Rick. And, well, of course, why would you? And but then that's when the zombies came in bitter, and then here we are, where she's basically confessing her time and the things that she had done, the things she had gone through, and, you know, I don't know if it's a bit of repenting or whatnot, but in a way, yes, I kind of felt sorry for her, because when you're at somebody's end, but I'm like, but I mean, you were going to kill them. So I'm like, I don't feel that sorry for you. I mean, you're saying, like, I was trying to understand honestly what she was saying, because I was like, was she saying that she wasn't going to shoot him right then and there? Like, maybe is it at that point she finally had the change of heart? But to me, it's just too little too late, you know? So anyways, the moral of the story is Jadis did some shady ass things, and she met her end. And I think it's a lot of her decisions that led her to this point. And but she did have a redemption point. Let me not forget to say, she told them where the dossier is, the files, the information on Alexandria. She told them where to find it. So, you know, I mean, that in a sense, that is a hell of a redemption point. I mean, she could have did nothing, which I thought it was kind of cold a little bit when she goes, tell me you're not going to go after the CRM, because she so believes in what they're going to do. Brainwashed perhaps, but she says she believes in it. And Michonne just goes, no, we're gonna go for them, because they're evil. And I mean, good on Michonne to keep her fight, and also to have this thought of going back to get the information, get that destroyed, and maybe destroy these people that are gonna probably kill hundreds, if not thousands more, due to their beliefs and wanting to be the ultimate start of the next human race, you know, in the next, whatever, 50, 100 years. You know, it's a nice thought and this and that, but clearly they're on a power trip, the CRM that is, and it's an evil one. And let's just face it, it's no bueno. So I think that's a lot of what went on. You know, this the last episode, we're going to see it looks like it's going to be Powerhouse packed. I mean, there's going to be a lot of things happening. Are they going to get a chance to destroy the information? Are they going to kill any of these CRM members, like the general, or some of these other key decision makers that are just doing some evil ass things, like taking out full-on settlements, even cities worth of people, and there's not many of those left. I think Portland's the last one, at least that we know of in this world. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the end. I think it's been a pretty solid season up until now. Perfect season, perhaps not, but fun, entertaining, and I hope for a good ending. So I hope you all enjoyed this small rant on it. Let me know in the comments what you think about episode 5. Were you sad to see Jadis go? Do you think she had full redemption, or do you think that the amount of evil that she probably did along the way, especially if you watch World Beyond, you can't come back from that? It's a tough one. I even teeter. I almost don't know where I fully am on it, but I know there's some pretty bad stuff she did. And she almost did try to kill Rick and Michonne. It's not like she missed on purpose. So, yeah, I think she got what she deserved overall in the end. I give this episode a solid 8 just across the board. It was fun. It was entertaining. It's what I would expected. Zombie action, some decent drama, and that's what I'm looking for out of Walking Dead. Let me know what you think in the comments. Other than that, you all take care. Have a great and blessed week. And hopefully I'll catch you at the finale of The Ones Who Live next week. Take care, guys.